Thank you. I've often asked myself the question, why would a successful country that's enjoyed 1,000 years of independence give up its right of self-government to the unelected non-entities that we see sitting before us this morning? And the answer that comes back from the Foreign Office and the great of the good is that we must have influence in Europe. We must have a seat at top table and we can change things. And we've done our best to prove what good Europeans we are. We go on paying you £50 million a day. We've helped the Euro bailout fund, even though we didn't join the currency, thank goodness. We've given you 80% of the fish stocks that swim in our waters. Your fleets can come and take that from us. And we've applied every directive you've given us absolutely to the letter, all of it to gain influence. In fact, Nick Clegg is so deluded, he still thinks we can take the lead in Europe. When a British Prime Minister goes to a summit with a very modest proposal to protect a uniquely important British industry, a snarling President Sarkozy tells him where to go, with German approval of course, and we find ourselves without a friend in the room, some influence. Well, you've decided to head off on the Titanic towards economic and democratic disaster, and we're now in a lifeboat outside the Titanic, but we're threatened by a bow wave that is going to come and engulf us if we're not careful, and it's retribution, and we've heard the language of retribution this morning. Financial markets legislation is going to be imposed upon Britain and we will have no influence whatsoever over any of it. Something changed though on Friday. Mr Cameron may not know it, but we are now on course. Britain is going to make the great escape. We're going to get out of this union. We'll be the first European country to get our freedom back. I suspect many others will follow. And then what we'll have is our democracy back, our liberty back, and we'll have influence in the world as you lot head for disaster. It is going to happen.
Thank you. Mr. President Farage. Blue card to you, yeah?
Well, thank you, Mr. Schulz. Isn't it funny? You know, when I came here 17 years ago, and I said that I wanted to lead a campaign to get Britain to leave the European Union, you all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
His political journey began in Eastleigh in Hampshire, a by-election in 1994. He was UKIP's first ever candidate in their first ever election.
The message that the UK Independence Party is giving is a message that has been given on behalf of the British people and is one that they've never ever heard before.
I don't support holding a referendum.
We don't want that flag. We don't want the anthem. We don't want this political class.
I don't think an in-out referendum is the answer.
You are bullying, you are threatening, you are anti-democratic, you're a complete shower.
We're not having a referendum on in or out of the European Union.
The question that I want to ask, that we're all going to ask, is who are you? I'd never heard of you. Nobody in Europe had ever heard of you. I would like to ask you, President, who voted for you?
The issue of a referendum is not our view that there should be an in-out referendum. I don't want Britain to leave the European Union.
Nigel Farage hopes David Cameron will one day eat his word.
We await the results of the European elections.
If we get what we like, things will never be quite the same again.
The UK Independence Party has managed to win over the hearts of the majority of the British public.
We will give the British people a referendum. It will be an in-out referendum.
My vision is to put this country and the British people first, and for us to divorce ourselves from political union and to re-engage with the rest of the world. It is upbeat, it is optimistic, and you know something? I think we're going to win.
And UK is going to be in the back of the queue.
The consequences would be negative.
What comes first, World War III or the global Brexit recession?
What I think they really mean is they just don't think we're good enough. Well, I do.
Give us a beat for Brexit. Hey! That's it. Give us a beat for Brexit.
Our leaders don't believe in the country. You know, and we can run our own country and we can control our own borders. Ladies and gentlemen, we're calling time on Britain's membership of the European Union.
This is one vote that really will change things, so go out, vote for your country, vote with your heart and do it.
The wait is over. Brits head to the polls today to decide their future if they choose Brexit, to leave the European Union.
In or out, it is too late to change your mind now.
Dare to dream that the dawn is breaking on an independent, united kingdom.
And Sky News is projecting that the UK has voted out.
We've done it. It's Independence Day. The ordinary, decent people of this country have overturned the establishment.
There are 17 million people that voted for Brexit. It's a victory for ordinary people. June the 23rd needs to become a national bank holiday, and we will call it Independence Day. And you've seen it here in this country, that now the mainstream media have actually become the opposition. They're not objectively reporting news. 90% of what you see on mainstream media in the States is negative about the president. Mind you, I suppose given the state the Democrats are in, maybe there needs to be an opposition of some kind in this country. These people don't believe. People like Soros don't believe in the existence of the nation state. They don't believe, as we believe, don't we, in basic patriotism and believing in who we are. They don't believe in national identity. They want us to live in a world with open borders.
And of course it's the same story in Hungary, where Viktor Orban, quite rightly, refuses to accept your ludicrous migrant quota programme, and he is now cast as the devil. Perhaps the real reason is that he's taking on Soros, perhaps the most dangerous man in Western democracy today. Keep going, Viktor Orban, is all that Free Democrats can say.